Hi, everyone. This year during word work, we will concentrate on one letter every week. And this week, our first letter that we will look at is the letter C. You can see here that I have circled letter C. Letter C is a consonant that you'll find at the beginning of the alphabet. So in class, we have letter cards, and when we show this letter card, we will say C's sound. So we'll say something like this. C says K. And be careful. Sometimes people will say, C says K. You can hear the sound at the end, and we want to kind of clip that off and just say, C says K. You try. C says K. Okay. Let's take a look at some words that start with that C sound. Candle, carrot, car, cone, cow, candy, cactus, castle, cat, cake, camera, and caterpillar. We're going to read a caterpillar book this week because C is our star letter. You could hear at the beginning of all of those words the K sound. Okay, so now you will also have an assignment in your word study slide today that will tell you how to write and form the letter C, the uppercase letter C. So I thought I would show you the type of paper we're going to use all year long. We call this house paper, and that's because you'll see at the very end over here, it's a little house. And then we use this house to describe the different types of lines. The very top line is called the roof line. The next one, the dotted line, is called the ceiling. This bottom one here is the floor line. And you can see the stairs coming down. The line that's at the very bottom is called the basement line. So if you take a look at the letter C, it doesn't quite start on the roof line. You'll see there's a start dot here in green. I have a red pen I'm going to use where C starts on that green dot a little bit below the roof line. And when you have this paper, you'll have this paper at home, you can start by tracing the first two, the dots, as slowly as you can, and you'll see that C bumps the roof, comes around, and bumps the floor, but it never crashes through to the basement. So you'll practice those two by just tracing the dots. Okay. And then there are two here that I did already this arrow just tells you which way to go. You start a little bit below the roof, you bump the roof around, bump the floor, and come back up just a little bit. Okay, so if you look at the rest of my paper, I'm just teaching you how we would like for you to set up your paper going forward all year long when we learn a new letter. So you'll see some dots. Now I drew those dots. So it's really helpful to draw a dot to remind you where to start. So I have a start dot here all set up for myself a little bit below the roof line. Okay, and I'll start on that dot, bump the roof, come around, bump the floor, and come back up. Okay, that's my first try. And then you'll see there are some more dotted ones that you can go ahead and practice. And then I only did just two more start dots on this line. And that's because we don't need you to draw or to form a million C's. We just need you to do a few of them and do them correctly. And it's nice to have space in between so we keep our paper nice and neat. But I did draw two start dots on this line as well. So it helps me even space my letters. Parents, it'd be great if you can draw the start dots to begin so they know where to go. And I'm slowly going to create my C's, bumping the top, coming around, slowly bumping the bottom, and coming back up. Okay, and so I'll show you what a finished paper will look like. I did these in red so you could see them, but you can see that I only really did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 C's on my own without the guided lines or dots. And that's because we want to space them correctly, and we want you to do a nice job on the ones that you do. You don't have to do a ton, but we want you to go nice and slow and make sure you're following where the C should bump. Okay, careful not to go into the basement for the uppercase C. This is an uppercase C, and you'll do it a lowercase c in class tomorrow, or you may have done it already, depending on which day you come to school. So that's what your letter formation paper should look like. And that's how we'll describe the house paper. Remember the roof, the ceiling, the floor, and the basement. And this is the paper we'll use all year long. So we'll go ahead and give this paper a try. Okay. And then you feel free to bring it in so you can show us how beautifully and carefully you've formed all of your C's. Okay. See you next time.